Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the channel. This is a little quarantine episode. Some of you guys know I do a little bit of woodworking on the side, just as a hobby, and I've been getting into it more and more during this quarantine time. So that's actually been a lot of fun for me. And this is a little shout out to Steve Ramsey and his channel, The Weekend Woodworker. So he had this little puzzle that he made, which I thought would be kind of fun to do. And I actually read one of the comments, and one of the comments suggested doing it slightly differently, and I did it that way. So Steve initially just cut out the pieces of wood in these shapes and put them together. And the comment was, why not just cut them into little cubes? So I cut up 27 little cubes out of this beautiful piece of oak that I had. So this is a project anybody can do. If you have a crosscut sled, I think it'll probably take you about an hour, and most of that time is spent gluing up. And it's quite a fun project. So you got these two L's, and so these have to be like perfect cubes. You got the two L's, you got the little square, and you got that guy and that guy. So basically a full square with two pieces missing and a full square with one piece missing. Yeah, so you just, it's super easy to put together. I think that's my only criticism of it, is that it is way too easy to do. So you go like that. And that's at least one way of doing it. It has a few different ways that it can be put together. So there you go. And I like the suggestion that the person in this comments had, to put the grains in different ways. So the other cool thing you can do with this is you can put it such that it forms a large block, essentially. The way you do that is like this, that, and then this. You can actually make a surprising number of cool geometric shapes with these few blocks. And so yeah, that was kind of fun to do. And then what I did, like I said, this is just oak. It's just, I love oak. It's such a beautiful thing. It's actually a miracle. It's so dense, it feels like metal. I was just talking to my wife about it last night. So anyway, I sanded it down and I put some linseed oil on top to make it kind of feel nice and smooth and last. And that is what I did last night between the hours of 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Anyway, I encourage you to check out the Weekend Woodworker channel if you're into woodworking. And even if you're not sure that you are, I think it's a good place to start. What I like about Steve's channel is that he approaches it from an angle that's a little different than most woodworking channels. So he wants to show you how to do common sense woodworking projects without thousands of dollars worth of tools. So, I think, any idiot can build something cool with like, $100,000 worth of tools in his workshop. But the nice thing with Steve is you don't really need $100,000 worth of stuff. You could start with just a couple of different pieces of equipment. Like I said, these blocks are actually a lot of fun. I've been doing all kinds of fun stuff like this, little art project here. I've really enjoyed it. I've built a lot of his ideas over time. My crosscut sled, I think, is an example of something I used his ideas on. I also built my workbench based on a few different things that he did. And then since then, I've just kind of been using his techniques and his ideas. What I really like is that he doesn't overcomplicate things. He's not trying to do like dovetail joints and things like that every day. Because realistically, those are kind of an art artistic part of carpentry, which is a woodworking, let's say, which is a really neat part of it. If you really want to get into kind of like the hobby, but if you're trying to just build stuff, which, you know, that's my thing. Like I built these monitor stands the other day, and I painted them. I needed two, so I built these two monitor stands. At my office, I have some different screens, and here, since I'm working from home now, I kind of wanted a cool setup. So what's nice is this also provides me with some storage, which I'm not quite using right now, but I've been a little disorganized. But yeah, he's encouraged me to do some really cool stuff. So anyway, check out his channel. I'll link it to in the description. I'll link it to the video where he built these. Like I said, I built them differently. I built them with just the tiny little cubes, and I glued them up. And little tip, if you want to do it my way, I just use rubber bands around these. And then I use rubber bands around these too, except I used 2 cubes here, which I didn't glue, just to get a perfect square so that I can glue it up. And then with these two, I just put 2 cubes, one there, and one there, and then just put the rubber band around. And again, like I said, I didn't obviously use glue on those surfaces. A couple of them still got a little stuck, but nothing that a hammer wasn't able to, or a mallet wasn't able to undo. So if you want to do it my way, you can do it this way. And all you really need to do is get 27 squares that are perfectly square. That can be a challenge, but not that hard. In fact, you probably want more than 27 if you want to do it exactly my way. So you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more than 27. So you want 34 squares, but those other 7 don't need to be perfect. They just need to be close. And then some sand and some linseed oil or something similar. And you got yourself a cool little toy for the kids, which you won't let them play with because it's too much fun to play with it as a stress reliever yourself. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, or if you have other ideas of what you've been doing with your time, I definitely want to hear about them. Go ahead and link to your videos down below, and maybe tell me what you've been spending your time on. I've got a couple car videos coming this week and next. I'm doing one on my kind of like dream garage. So actually I'm going to do 2 of those. So dream garage, one with like classic cars and one with modern cars. And I want to hear your take on those as well. And then I've never really reviewed my wife's Land Rover Discovery. And I kind of feel like that's an interesting video to make. And I'm going to work on that soon. I haven't really yet. Anyway, if you want to see those, click subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll know when they're posted. Well, thanks for tuning in.